Hello internet and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I'll be doing something a little bit different from what I normally upload. Today I'm gonna be telling a story about a man who found dead bodies on the road. I just wanna give some quick information before we get into it. This is not something I have experienced, it's not my story, so I'm not gonna be taking any credit for it. Other than that, just sit back, relax and enjoy the video. So the story begins with a man driving home from work. He's tired, so he decides to take a shortcut. The shortcut doesn't really lead anywhere. There's nothing where he's going. But there used to be. There used to be a satanic group sacrificing animals there in the past. So he was a little skeptic about taking this shortcut, but he decided to do it because he just wanted to get home. While taking the shortcut, he came to the knowledge that the satanic group offerings was not in the past. It was still happening. But he thought that they wouldn't be there at this hour surely. Everyone's home sleeping, he thought. So he still decided to take the shortcut, even though he could easily turn around. His friends and him at the time were real party animals, and they saw where he was on the snap map. They saw that he was near the satanic group offerings, so they dared him to go on Route 40. He wasn't that close to the satanic group offering, but Route 40 is in the middle of it. He was scared at first thought, but then he thought, yeah, they might worship the devil, but they're not going to hurt him, because there's still something called a simple police arrest. And also he didn't believe in all that devil crap, so he decided to simply just do it, since his friends dared him to do it. He drove up to the Route 40 sign, and he took a picture to prove to his friends that he was really there. He then got in his car and proceeded to drive against Route 40. He then came to know that Route 40 is in the middle of a mountain. Once he reached the top, he proceeded to drive north. He then proceeded to drive through the canyons, with high grass on both sides of the car, and it was almost impossible to see through. He's driven for a while now, and he gets tired. Then, suddenly he sees something in the middle of the road. He sees a red Pontiac Pharaoh stop sideways across both lanes, and a suitcase open with clothes scattered everywhere, and two bodies laying face down in the road, a man and a woman. He stopped the car about 100 feet away from them. His hair on the back of his neck was standing up. Being a Marine, he reached under the seat and pulled out a 9mm pistol and a chamber around. Something seemed very wrong with it. It looked too perfect, as if they were stacked. An ambush? Was he being paranoid, or was there something wrong? He thought about getting out of the car, but the more he thought about it, the more it seemed unthinkable. He'd seen a lot of horror movies, and in every single one, the guy who left the car was always a dead man. He then scanned the road on his phone and used GPS to find a road around them. All he had to do was pass the guy in the road on his left, swerve to the right side of the woman behind the Pharaoh, and then he'd be on the other side. He dropped it into first gear and punched it and drove the line he planned. He got past the Pharaoh without even scratching it, or even touching the dead bodies. He drove as fast as he could, because he knew that the killer might still be around. He told his friends what had happened after he had sat and calmed down in a safe distance about 100 meters away or so. His friends didn't believe him, and they asked him to go back to take pictures. But he didn't want to. All of a sudden, he didn't care that they wanted proof. Screw them, he just wanted to go home. When he had calmed down, he looked in the mirror, and to his horror, the two dead bodies were suddenly on their knees. He thought about how the hell that could happen, and got really freaked out, and then he saw about 20 Satanists emerge from the tall grass. He smashed his foot into the speeder, and he didn't let go until he was at the end of Route 40, and he had to stop because there was a ramp. After all of it had happened, his friends never dared him to do anything again. because the way he described it was so realistic that they actually believed him. The police didn't find anything out there, and he never went for a drive by there again. He quoted to the article that if he hadn't gotten out of there, he don't know what would have happened. And sometimes real life can be scarier than any horror movie you can ever watch. That's it for this video. Like if you liked the video and dislike if you don't. And please tell me in the comments what I can do better and what I should do for my next video. That said, hope you sleep tight, guys. Peace out.
Dolce and Gabbana, Fendi and Adana, Karen, they be sharing all their money, got me wearing fly. Girl, but I ain't asking. They say they love my ass in 7 jeans to religion. I say no, but they keep giving, so I keep on taking.